Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. We got some more pre-1961 bats. We got the second game of this series between the Cincinnati Reds and St. Louis Cardinals. Leading off for the Reds, playing center field, Ed Rush. Batting second, playing third, Eddie Casco. Batting third, playing first base, Ted Kowinski. Batting fourth, playing right field, Wally Post. Batting fifth, playing left field, Frank Robinson. Batting sixth, doing the catching, Ed Bailey. Batting seventh, playing second base, Lonnie Fry. Batting eighth, playing shortstop, Roy McMillan. And batting ninth and pitching is Bucky Walters. And your hometown Cincinnati Reds leading off, playing second base, Ed Sorrentes. Batting second, playing right field, Jesse Burkett. Batting third, playing shortstop, Roger Hornsby. Batting fourth, playing left field, Stan Musial. Batting fifth, playing first base, is Johnny Mize. Batting sixth, playing third base, Whitey Kowalski. Batting seventh, playing center field, Enos Slaughter. Batting eighth, on the catching, Jimmy Wilson. And on the mound, on the pitching, Dizzy Dean. Let's get down here to the ballpark and get this game going. Ed Rush will lead this game off. He's batting .367 with a homer and 13 RBIs. This is Dizzy Dean's fourth start. He's 0-2 with a 4.909 ERA. Here's the pitch to Ed Rush. And that's going to be a ground ball. That's a swing and a miss. Dizzy strikes him out for out number one. Eddie Casco comes up to the plate. Eddie's batting a .143, one homer and 6 RBI. And that's another swing and a miss. Back-to-back strikeouts for Dizzy Dean. And Big Clue comes to the plate. And Big Clue's batting .209 with a homer and 1 RBI. And can he strike the side out? Nope. Clue lifts that ball in the center field. Slaughter makes the catch. But the Reds go down in order. Top of the first, Reds nothing. Going to the bottom of the first with Red, Birkin, and Hornsby due up here. You can see the team comparisons. The Reds are 7-9, batting .211 with a 271 on base percentage, slugging .358 with an OPS of .628. Cardinals are 6-9, batting .232. OP on base percentage of .310, OPS of .686, and they're slugging .376. Reds batting .226 with a homer and 7 RBIs, going up against Bucky Walters. This is his fourth start of the year. He's 1-1 with a 1.69 ERA, and that's going to be a fly ball out to Ed in center field for out number one. And now you got Jesse Burkett to the plate. And Jesse's batting .268. He's got a homer and no RBIs. No homers and no RBIs. And that's going to be a 40, a rear play. A 40 and a 16. 40. It's going to be a ball one. Here's the 1-0 pitch to Burkett. And he drives that 1-0 pitch in the right field. It drops in front of post for a 1-out single for Burkett. And Roger Hornsby comes to the plate. Hornsby's batting .266, 3 homers and 11 RBI. And that's going to be a base on balls. And Bucky's got himself in a predicament here. First and second, bottom of the first, only 1 out. And Stan the Man Musial's up, batting a .172, no homers and 3 RBIs. And that's going to be a fly ball out to Ed in center field, and that'll be out number 2. So it's going to be up to Johnny Mize, the big cat, to drive in a run. First and second, 2 outs. Mize batting .273, 6 homers, 13 RBIs. And And against a 19, that's going to be a ground ball down the second. And sorry, that's going to be an infield fly. And Fry makes the catch. The Cardinals strand two. We go to the top of the second. Still no score. See the Reds' upcoming schedule. They got one more game here in St. Louis. Then they're going to go on the road to Pittsburgh for 3 and then up to New York. Wally Post coming into this game batting a $148 with 3 homers and 7 RBIs. And that's going to be a fly ball out the left. Musial makes the catch for out number 1. And we got Frank Robinson up now. Frank's batting .241. He's got 4 homers and 6 RBIs. And Frank puts that ball high. That ball is far. Kiss it goodbye. That ball is gone. Frank Robinson. Excuse me. Gives the Reds a 1-0 lead here in the top of the second. That brings up Ed Bailey. And Bailey's batting .286. A homer and 2 RBIs. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. Dizzy bounces back. They get the strikeout after the homer. Now there's 2 outs. Nobody on for Lonnie Fry. Fry batting .278, no homers and 5 RBIs. And that's going to be a fly ball out the stand. That'll end the inning. But the homer by Frank Robinson gives the Reds a 1-0 lead as we go to the bottom of the second. Whitey, Slaughter, and Wilson do up here. Whitey batting .290 with 4 homers and 7 RBIs. And that's a fly ball out to Ed in center. That'll be out number 1. And Enos Slaughter, Big Country comes up. Country's batting .262. He's got 2 homers and 7 RBIs. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. Waters strikes him out for out number 2. First strikeout of the game for Bucky. And Jimmy Wilson comes to the plate. Mr. Wilson's batting .212 with no homers and 4 RBIs. And that's a ground ball down to Roy at short. Over to Big Clue. 1, 2, 3 goes the Cardinals. At the top of the third we go. Bottom part of the order up. McMillan, Waters, and then back to Ed. And Roy's batting a $196 with a homer and 8 RBIs. And that's going to be a ground ball down to Whitey. He fires across the mize. Now gave it to the wrong spot. We'll redo that. It's supposed to be down the third, not the short. And a ground ball down the third. That's better. And now you got Bucky Walters up now. And Bucky says we don't need no stinking DH. He's batting .333 and no homers and but 2 RBIs. And that's going to be a 1, 2. It's going to be a ground ball down the red. He fires over the mize. 2 ground balls, 2 outs. Back to the top of the order we go. And Ed struck out his first time up. And that's going to be a base on ball. So he's yet to put the ball in play. He's on here now with 2 outs for Ed. And it's the Ed and Eddie show. And Casco is struck out his first time up. And that's going to be a fly ball out to Burkett. That'll end the inning. And the Cardinals strand another one. And the Reds strand one. And we go to the bottom of the third. Still 1-0 Cincinnati. Got Dizzy Dean due up. And then we're back to the top of the order and Red and Burkett. Dizzy Dean's batting .200. No homers and no RBIs. And that's going to be a ground ball back to the mound. 64 and a 2 should be fielding column 3, I would think. Yes, it is. And that's going to be safe on air. see where he ends up at is the question. And he stays at first, so he bobbles the ball, doesn't compound it by throwing it away. So Dizzy Dean gets on an error by his counterpart, Bucky Waters. You got a runner down at first. Tying run down at first, and Red's up. Red flew out the center his first time up. And that's going to be a ground ball down the short. 45 and a 10 should be fielding column 1. And I are going to get the batter out at first. Sure here, yep. They're going to get the batter out at first, but that's it. So the runner will get in scoring position here for Burkett. And Jesse, he's got a single his first time up. See if he can get one here and drive in Dizzy Dean and tie this ball game up. And that's going to be a fly ball out to Ed in center field. Now there's 2 outs and a runner down at second. And it's up to Roger Hornsby to come through here for the Cardinals. He walked his first time up. And that's going to be a 20. And that's going to be a ground ball down to McMillan. He's up with it, fires over to first. Dean gets stranded at second. To the top of the 4th we go. You got Big Clue Post and Robinson due up here. Big Clue flew out the center his first time up. And he gets a hold of this one, folks. That ball is high. That ball is far. Big Clue just drove that one into the right field bleachers. And it is now 2-0 Cincinnati, Ohio. So 2 hits, both of them homers. And Wally Post is up. He flew out the left his first time up. And that's going to be a base on balls. Because he hasn't gotten an out yet here, folks. He's given up the leadoff homer and now a walk. And here comes a man that got the first hit of the ball game for the Reds. It was a solo shot back in the second. Frank Robinson. And that's going to be a ground ball down the short. And that'll be fielding column 3. And I'll get the batter out at first. The runner will get down to second, get in scoring position now for Bailey. And Ed is 0 for 1. He struck out his first time up. And that's going to be a fly ball out to Burkett for out number 2. And Ronnie Fry's up now. Fry's 0 for 1. He flew out the left his first time up. And that's going to be a 18 and a 10. Right? Yep. And that's another fly ball out to Burkett. That'll end the inning. But the Reds with the home run by a Big Clue makes this a 2-0 game as we go to the bottom of the 4th. You got Musial, Mize, and Whitey due up here. Stan flew out the center his first time up. And that's going to be a ground ball down the Fry for out number 1 here in the 4th. And the big cat, Johnny Mize, comes to the plate. He's popped up the second. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. He strikes Johnny out. Buck does for his second strikeout of the game. And now Whitey steps up to the plate. He flew out the center his first time. And that's going to be a ground ball back to Buck. He's up with it, fires over the Clue. And that'll do it. 1, 2, 3 goes the Cardinals. To the top of the 5th we go. Bottom part of the order, McMillan and Waters. And then back to Rush and Rush. And first up is Roy. And Roy grounded out to third his first time up. That's going to be a ground ball back to the mound. 62 and a 2. I'll probably be fielding column 2 when it is. So that's going to be an error. That's an E1 on Dizzy Dean. So each pitcher's made an error in this game. McMillan's down at first with a lead off error. And Waters is going to try to bunt him down the second, trying to make this a 3-0 ball game. And that's going to be down the second. It'll be grounded down the first. Mize is up with it. His only play is over to first with red covering. Runner does get in scoring position. And now there's one out. And we're to the top of the order in Ed Rush. And Ed's 0 for 1. He has struck out and walked. And that's the first time he puts the ball in play. And runner. So pop up down the third. A runner will have to hold. So now there is 2 down. And Cass goes up. And Eddie's 0 for 2. Struck out and flat out. Not this time, folks. See what happens with this one. That's going to be a base hit in the right field. And let's see here. Millen with 2 outs. Is he going to be able to score is the question. 52. And with 2 outs, you got to take the chance here, I think. 27 or lower. So 53 or lower, he's in there safely. An RBI single, and he's in there safely. So Eddie comes through with an RBI hit and makes it a 3-0 ball game. And Big Clue comes to the plate. And Clue is 1 for 2 with that solo homer back in the fourth. Runner down at first and 2 outs. And that's going to be popped up down the short. Hornsby makes the play, but not until the Reds score another run, make it 3-0. So we're going to the bottom of the 5th with Slaughter, Wilson, and Dean, the bottom third of the lineup. Slaughter struck out his first time up. Not this time, though, folks. Enos squares this one up. And that's going to be a lead-off triple, folks. The ball was hit in the left field, I believe. Let's see here. Yep, hit in the left field for a lead-off triple. Slaughter down at third. And try again here. With nobody out. Trying to get into this deficit. Mr. Wilson's up. The Reds will play back with a 3-0 lead. And Wilson grounded out to short his first time up. And that's going to be a fly ball out to Ed in center field. Let's see here. 52 and a 3 should still be filling column 1, I would think. Yep. And we need to roll another dice. 6. And that'll be 38. Might have to stay put here, even with 2 outs. With 1 out, rather. Yeah, he's going to stay put. There's 1 out now. A runner down at third. And Dizzy Dean, let's see if he can help his own cause out here. Dizzy reached on an error his first time up. And that's going to be a fly ball in the right field. And have to re-roll a dice here again. And it's going to be a 47. And a 32. 62 or lower, he's going to be out at the plate. So this could be a sacrifice fly for Dizzy Dean. And it is. So now you got nobody on, but it's now a 3-1 ball game. So 2 outs now. We're back to the top of the order. And Slaughter comes in on the sacrifice fly. And Red's up now. Red is grounded out and struck out. And that's going to be an infield hit by Red. He gets a board here with 2 outs. Now you got Burkett up. And a time run comes to the plate. And Burkett's 1 for 2. He singled back in the first. And that's going to be a base on balls. Burkett trots on down the first. Red down the second. Roger Hornsby up now. Time run at first. Go ahead, run at the plate. Can Mr. Hornsby do something here? He is 0 for 1, walked and grounded out. And that's going to be a ground ball down the short. 6 and a 10 should be fielded in column 1. And it is. And that's going to be a nice play down there by McMillan. Deep in the hole, he fires over the first. And that ends the inning. Cardinals strand 2. Score 1. Make it a 3-1 ball game on the sacrifice fly by Dizzy Dean. He's trying to do it all. And he's got Post, Robinson, and Bailey due up here. Wally Post is 0 for 1. He's walked and thrown out. And that's going to be a ground ball down the red. I think that's going to be a swing and a miss. He strikes him out. Post goes down. Now Frank Robinson, who's homered in this game, back in the second. And that's going to be a fly ball out to Slaughter for out number 2. And now Ed Bailey's up. And Bailey's over 2, struck out and flown out. And that's another ground ball. This one down to Whitey. Cross to Mize. 1, 2, 3 goes the Reds. To the bottom of 6 we go. Musial, Mize, and Whitey due up. Stands over 2. Flown out and grounded out. And that's going to be another fly ball. Another one out the center and another out. And Johnny Mize comes to the plate. Johnny's 0 for 2. He has popped up and struck out. And that's going to be a base on balls. That gets the tying run up to the plate. And Whitey, see if Whitey can deliver here. He's 0 for 2. He's flown out and grounded out. And that's going to be another fly ball. This one out to Robinson for out number 2. See if Country Olena Slaughter can deliver here with a runner down at first. He's 1 for 2 with a triple. Came around to score the only run for the Cardinals. And that's a fly ball out the post. That'll end the inning. Cardinals strand 1. To the top of the 7th we go. We got the bottom third of the order due up. Fry, McMillan, and Waters. And Lonnie's 0 for 2. He's flown out to the corners right and left. And that's going to be a base on balls. Fry gets a board here with a leadoff walk. Dizzy's 3rd walk of the game. McMillan, he's 0 for 2. He's grounded out and reached on an air and came around to score. Here's the pitch to Matt. That's a lazy fly ball to Stan for out number 1. And Buck Waters is going to try to sacrifice Lonnie down the 2nd. He had a sacrifice back in the 5th. And that's going to be a nice bunt. Back to the mound. Dizzy's up with it. He tosses it over the 1st with a red covering. Now there's, 2 outs and a runner down at 2nd. And let's see if Ed Rush can do something. He's 0 for 2. He has struck out, walked, and popped up. And that's going to be a ground ball down the 1st. Mize is up with it, tosses it over to Dean. And again, the Cardinals strand 1 as we go to the 7th inning stretch. You got Wilson. Then Dizzy Dean's due up, followed by Red. Let's look at the bullpen here. See if they're only giving up the 2 homers. They're only giving up 3 hits. It's coming up for them. Bunch of righty, lefty, righty. Coming up. We'll see. If Wilson gets on the board, we'll have a decision to make here. Wilson's 0 for 2. He's grounded out and flown out. And that's going to be a ground ball down the third. Heads up with it. Fires over the first. And we're going to have a pitch hitter here for Dizzy Dean. They're running out of outs, down by 2. See who can come off the bench here and maybe get a 1-out rally started. The only lefty they got on the bench is Bottomley. Man, I'd like to bring him up with the game on the line, maybe. Let's see here. I think we're going to go with Joe Medwick off the bench. Yep, Joe Medwick. We're not going to do the lefty-righty thing. Joe's going to come off the bench here. See if he can get on here with 1 out. And Joe is batting 152 on the year. He's got a homer and 4 RBIs. Can he deliver here with a 1 out? And that's going to be a fly ball out the right field. Post is out there. 25 and a 2. And that's going to be a nice catch by Post. Robs Joe of a base hit. Now there's 2 down. And Red's up. And Red's 1 for 3. He's singled back in the 5th. And he's going to square this one up. Where's this one going to drop at, folks? And that's going to be a double in the right field. So a 2-out double by Red. And let's see if Burke can maybe cut this lead down to a 1-run lead with Red down at second and 2 outs. Burke gets 1 for 2. He's walked in the first, singled in the first, walked in the 5th. And that's going to be a fly ball out the right field. Post makes the catch. And the Cardinals strand Red down at second. See who's going to come out here and pitch for the Cardinals. And it looks like it's going to be Jackson's going to come out of the bullpen. Jackson comes out of the pen. Trying to keep this a 2-run ball game. Jackson's 6th appearance of the year. He's 1-1 with a 1.96 ERA. He'll be facing Casco, Big Clue, and Post. Eddie's 1 for 3 with an RBI single in the 5th. And that's a base on balls. Don't like that out of the bullpen, walking the first batter to your face. And now you got the big boys coming up here. Here comes Clue. He's already homered in this game. And that's going to be a double in the right field down the first base line. See if Eddie can score on this. Burkett's got a hell of an arm out there. And with nobody out, he's probably going to stop at third. And that's what he's going to do. So that's going to be a double. We're going to have runners at second and third. And nobody out here for the Reds. Already up by 2. It's going to force the Cardinals to bring the infield in. And Jackson isn't coming through. That's for sure. Second and third and nobody out. And Wally's up. He's 0 for 2. He's walked, struck out, and flown out. And that's going to be a fly ball out the left field. That'll be column number 3. And that's going to be I think he's going to walk home. I think he's going to walk on home here. Yep, that was definitely deep enough to get the job done. And that makes it a 3-run ball game here as Philip Reynolds joins us. Host with the sacrifice fly. Oh, we should have seen a big clue. Let's go back here. Should see if clue was going to make it down the 3rd. So we know Ed's going to make it down home with no throw. But what about clue? That would be a 3, a 50. Clue doesn't have very good speed, but Stan doesn't have as much of an arm out there either. 28. So there will be a play at 3rd. So 54 or lower, he's safe at 3rd. And he's safe at 3rd. So sacrifice fly gets the runner in and gets the runner down to 3rd. So now you got a runner down at 3rd. That'll keep the infield in with only 1 out. And it is now a 4-1 ball game. Frank Robinson comes to the plate. And Frank is 1 for 3 with that homer back in the 2nd. And that's going to be another fly ball out the left. And let's see here. I need to roll a die. That'll be a 56. And again, even with Clue's speed, he should score here. Yep. Take a 64 or lower. So 65 or 66, he's out at the plate. And he's in there, another sacrifice fly. And now it's a 5-1 ball game. And Ed Bailey's up now with nobody on and 2 outs. And Bailey's 0 for 3. He has struck out, flown out, and grounded out. And that's another grounder, this one down to Hornsby. And that'll end the inning. But not until the Reds score 2 more runs and make it a 5-1 ball game as we go to the bottom of the 8th. You got Hornsby, Musial, and Mize due up here against Buck. And Rogers, he's 0 for 2. He did walk back in the 1st and grounded out the short plate. And that's going to be a against the 20. That'll be a fly ball out there, Ed in center field for out number 1. Here comes the man. Stan the man's up. He's flown out the center and grounded out. And not this time. That ball is high. That ball is far. All Ed can do to this one is turn around and watch it leave the yard out there. And oh, how big those runs was in the 8th. It could have been a 1-run game. And still, it's 5-2. And Johnny Mize is up. And Johnny's 0 for 2. He has struck out, popped up, and walked. And that's going to be a ground ball down to Lonnie at 2nd. Over the Clue for out number 2 rather. It's up to Whitey here. Keep this inning going. Whitey's 0 for 3, flown out twice and grounded out. And that's going to be a base hit by Whitey. See where this one lands at. And that's going to be hit into the gap. Nobody can get to it. It rolls to the wall. And Bailey's down at, Whitey's down at 2nd with 2 outs. And Enos Slaughter comes to the plate. Slaughter had that triple and came around the score back in the 5th. And that's going to be a 19. That's going to be a single into right field. Whitey doesn't have much speed here. Let's see. 556. And a 30. So they're going to send him home here. And it'll be a 56 or lower. He's safe. And he's safe. That's an RBI single by Slaughter. All of a sudden, the Cardinals trying to make a comeback here, folks. And like I say, how big's those 2 runs? I would have tied the game up. Instead, now it's 5-3. Jamie Wilson. They're trying to get Waters through this inning. Old Bucky is due up 3rd in the top of the 9th. And Jamie's 1-0 for 3, grounded out twice and flown out. And that's going to be a fly ball out to Frank Robinson. He makes the catch. That ends the inning. But the Reds score 2. It's 5-3 as we go to the top of the 9th. Like I say, you got Fry McMillan and a pitch hitter for Bucky. It looks like he's running out of gas. And Lonnie's 0 for 2. He did walk back in the 7th. And that's going to be a base hit by Fry. And that's going to split the gap. That's going to be a double. And now the Cardinals trying to keep this a 2-run game again. You got McMillan up with a runner down in scoring position and nobody out. Max 0 for 3. That's going to be a ground ball down the 2nd. And that'll get the runner down the 3rd. So now you got a runner down at 3rd, and that'll be it for Waters. Let's see who's going to come off the bench here. A runner down at 3rd. Gus Bell's going to come off the bench here for Bucky Waters. Trying to get them back to a 3-run lead. Oh, Gus. Gus batting .429 on the year, no homers and 1 RBI. Infield in for the Cardinals. And it doesn't matter. That ball is hammered, folks. Let's see here. Against an 11. And he must have hit that off the end of the bat, but that's going to be an RBI single. It sounded like that ball was hit a lot harder than what it was, but it gets the job done. That's a single into right field. Let's see here. Make sure I got it right. Might not be. Yep, that's going to be a single into right field. But that gets the job done. That makes it a 6-3 lead. Gus Bell comes off the bench and gets an RBI. 1 out now on top of the order. It's 0 for 3. He struck out and walked. And that's going to be a fly ball out the right field. 33 and a 2. Should be fielding column 2. Yep. And that's going to be a single in the right to runner to 3rd. F runner's going to score. He doesn't. So that's going to be a single in the right field. And the runner's going to get down to 3rd. So now it's 1st and 3rd. Again, they're going to have to bring the infield in. And Casco comes up. Darn it. And Eddie's 1 for 3. Got an RBI single back in the 5th. That's going to be a fly ball out the right field. 49. 36. 24. He's due up after that. He's going to hold there. Fly ball in the right field. And he's going to give Big Clue a chance here to really bust this game open. Clue's 2 for 4. He has a double and a homer in this game. And that's going to be a against an 8, 8 and a 7. That's going to be a single in the left field. Bell's going to score. And the runner's going to stop at second. First and second. And they just got both of those runs right back. And up to the plate now comes Wally Post as Jackson can't keep the runners from scoring here. And Wally's over 2. He's walked and had a sacrifice fly. And that'll end the inning. The ball's hit the Hornsby. He fires over the second to short way. And that'll do it, folks. But the Reds scored 2 more and make this a 7-3 ball game. See who's going to come out of the bullpen here. You got a pitch hitter for Jackson. And back to the top of the order. We got a lefty to come out of the bullpen. And it looks like it's going to be Johnny Van Meyer going to come out of the bullpen. Try to nail this game down with a 4-run lead. Here's Johnny. Now let's see who's going to pitch hit against Johnny. Jackson's due up. And Chick Hafe is going to come out. Old Chicky Baby comes out of the dugout and grabs the bat. Against the lefty here. See what Hafe can do. Johnny comes in the game. This is his 4th appearance, no record, with a 3.6 ERA. First batter he'll be facing is Chick Hafe. And Hafe is 0 for 5. Can he bust out here and get his first hit? And he sure does. He drives that ball down the first base line. Down the third base line. That's going to be a leadoff double by Chicky Baby. And again, how big those runs in the 9th. Red comes out now with a runner down at second and nobody out. And Red's 2 for 4. He doubled and singled in the game back in the 5th and 7th. And that's going to be a fly ball out the left field. Robinson catches it for out number 1. And here comes Jesse Burkett. And Jesse's 1 for 3. Singled back in the 1st. And that's going to be against the lefty, a 17 on a 7. It's going to be a single in the right. The runner's going to come around the score. There'll be no throw. They're going to try to keep this a double play in order. And it is now 7-4. Excuse me, Burkett down at first. And Roger Hornsby's up. He's 0 for 3. He did walk back in the 1st. Excuse me. And that's going to be a tailor-made double play down to McMillan at short, over the Fry, over to Big Clue, and that'll be your ball game, folks. As the Cardinals lose it 7-4. Let's look at the box score here. Oh, darn it. And the Reds, 7 runs, 8 hits, and 1 error. The Cardinals out-hit them 4 runs on 9 hits, but couldn't outscore them in 1 error. Old Big Clue goes 3 for 5. You got the big home run, Frank Robinson, 1 for 3 with a homer. And the Reds were 3 for 9 with runners in scoring position, left 6 men on base. Top of the order did a good job for the Cardinals. Red and Burkett 2 for 5 and 2 for 4 respectively. And Enos Slaughter had 2 hits also. Cardinals were only 2 for 9 with runners in scoring position, left 8 men on base. Buck Waters goes to 2-1, 8 innings, 7 hits, 3 runs, walked 3, struck out 2, gave up the homer. Van Meyer comes in, pitches an inning, 2 hits, 1 run. And Dizzy Dean goes to 0-3, 7 innings, 3 hits, 3 runs, only 2 of them earned, walked 3, struck out 4, gave up 2 homers. Jackson couldn't keep it a close game, comes in 2 innings, 5 hits, 4 runs, and walked 1. Check out the standings and the leaderboard here after the 5th in the National League. Giants on top by a game over the Phillies. Braves are 2.5 games back. Cubbies, Reds, Dodgers, and Pirates are all 3 games back. Cardinals are now 4.5 games back. Ed Delaney's leading the league with a .412 batting average. Joe Adcock with 8 homers. And Hank Aaron with 22, along with Joe Adcock and Klein, leading the National League with these 22 RBIs. And Dazzy Vance with his 1.62 ERA. Boatload of pitchers with 3 wins, and Marv Grissom with 4 saves. You got Hank Aaron leading in the MVP voting, and Dazzy Vance leading in the Best Pitcher Award. I want to thank Philip Reynolds for checking the game out today, coming along for the ride. Check out his great channel. And let's see what the pitching matchup looks like here for the final game of this series. I believe it's the final game of the series. Let's see here. Yep. And we're going to have Hannah going up against Doak in that game. I want to thank everybody for stopping by. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell for reminders. And on your way out, hit that like button and leave a comment. Until next time, you all have a great day and take care.